Hey guys and gals, and welcome to another video from the team here at Gotta Play It All, division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoyed it or learned something from the video, consider liking and consider subscribing for more tips, tricks, tactics, mods, let's play, and indie games in general. Lastly, don't forget our motto, play your way. So, the version 0.03 alpha has been released by IGG Games for their game Besiege, up from alpha version 0.002. Now, the first thing I noticed was the game size itself. It was only increased by 3 megabytes, so I didn't really know what to expect at first was added. So let's take a look at what was added. So we still have Epsilon available. All the other islands, however, are still under construction. Obviously, this is excuse me, still an early update, so there's a long ways to go. The moon is still unavailable. Sandbox mode, I'll quickly hop in there. Sandbox mode hasn't changed as far as I can tell. It's still got the same layout, and when it comes to your machines, you're able to load in the same machines that you have created in previous versions, so that's great. So I'm able to load in any machine that I had in version 0.002. On to new items. Not a lot has changed, but a few great things have been added. We now have, well, the first thing is this half pipe low friction. I haven't done any extensive testing on it yet. I'm not sure exactly what it does when we take the parameter tuner to it. It just says it's a plow, so I guess it works the same way as the weaponry plow, just it's a half pipe instead of a quarter pipe, I guess. I don't know. I have to play around with that one a little bit more. But there's some much better ones. We now have, if we go to mechanical, a lot more options for creating machines. Let me restart actually, so I can show this all off properly. So we had our usual our regular motor wheels before that they rotated, obviously, when you used your key. However, now we have unpowered wheels, and they don't have those little bits on the end, so they're now completely circular, and in my testing I found that they roll much better. Let me quickly make a machine up here, and I'll show you how much better. You know what, in fact, let me load my old machine up again. So if you guys remember, basically it was very front heavy, and it turned by using an armor plate with a what was it, a powered turning deal or whatever. So basically I was able to turn, it was kind of like a really weird trike, but essentially it turned just by rotating the entire machine on this thing. However, you can see how blocky it is. It's a 1 2 3 4, it's octagons, so not very efficient. However, if I replace that with an unpowered wheel, now obviously parameter tuning, we got nothing, it's just a free wheel, they call it. Let's see the difference. So I'm gonna hit play. It doesn't work with my setup anymore that way. If I go back to what I was using, so you can see how the armor, how it attached very well, it was physically attached to it rigidly. However, you can see that if I replace it again with the free wheel, the unpowered wheel, when I hit play and I go left and right, it spins, but the wheel doesn't. So what this means is that it now essentially has an axle, essentially. So this will make machines much easier to to design, and it's going to allow for a lot less friction. Let me illustrate. Obviously now I can't use this on my machine because it just swivels like that. Now there's ways around that obviously, but let me illustrate how much greater this wheel is now for constructing a vehicle. So we're going to start fresh. I'm just quickly going to throw out a layout. I'm just going to make a basic layout. I'm going to grab some braces. I'm going to brace it up nice and good. I found out today that this game was built using Unity too. I didn't know that actually. Unity's my favorite game engine, so they've done a good job. They must have been working on this for a long time to get it into the alpha stage. This brace isn't liking me here. There we go. That should be pretty sturdy. Let's see how it falls. Oh yeah, she'll live. All right, so let's excuse me, I got a bad voice today. So let's throw a regular motor wheel on the front, as we normally would, because we need some sort of way to get traction, to get movement. So that is rotating clockwise, so it'll draw us forward. Same with that one; they're the right direction. Now let's compare. So old school, we would put 4 motor wheels like that. I'm not gonna go into steering right now, but before we had the new parts, it would be like this. It would see if we can get a good view here. You'd have your powered wheels, and they rolled nicely, but they didn't have an axle as free as the unpowered one. So let me illustrate. I'm going to replace the rear ones both with the free axles, the unpowered wheels. So before, remember I showed you how you had to go into the parameter tuning and turn the wheel speed down to 0 to get one of these, but you still ran into the issue that it wasn't completely circular. So watch how much easier our machine drives now. Now those wheels, they roll so much nicer. I have no steering at all, but yeah, no, it essentially, once you get a proper vehicle built, they roll so much nicer that it's a much easier, and I should say smoother game to play now, because now they roll so much. I have depth of field on, it's hard to see. They just roll so much nicer. So let me throw together a quick. Well, I'll do that. I'll make a few videos since there's some major things you can go with. Let me show you some of the other parts here, since this is just going to be an overview of the new update. We have, what was it? Right, unpowered cogs. So I will throw one right there. I'll throw one right there, one right there. So if I hit play, they do absolutely nothing. You can see though that I don't know if that, yeah, that one's mesh is touching the wheel, so you can see the wheel's actually driving it. The physics engine is touching it. So you can see how that works. So now we're getting towards being able to build geared things. Now gears, obviously, and you have powered gears too, right? So controls are the same as usual. So we'd have to change them, and you can change the direction, obviously. So let me take my unpowered cog. I'm gonna take these wheels, and I'm gonna get rid of all the wheels actually, just so I can show off the cogs. And also unpowered medium cogs, so that means that they're gonna have smaller and larger cogs in future updates, it sounds like. If you set it up just right though, you can get the gears to mesh this way too, as you can see. I obviously had that in the wrong spot. Let's grow it closer. Let's see if this will work out. Does it need to be on the inside? Yeah, I need a different layout. There we go. So you see I can throw a cog in there too, and it should engaged sometimes. But anyways, so we go to our key mapper, we click on our powered cog. So forwards is up and reverse is down. We'll turn down the rotation speed so we can see the effect a little better. So it just sits there, but if I hit forward, you can see how it spins the cog. Oh, that's not engaging. Yeah, I need to build a different setup. But you can just imagine how much cooler machines people are gonna make with this. I think of Minecraft, how once people were able to start building circuits and stuff, how amazing it got, and how they built like analog computers and stuff. I think once they add some more mechanical things like this, it's gonna lead to some really cool things. I mean, the possibilities of our creativity, really, now that we have the ability to gear things. So that's gonna lead to some really interesting vehicles. Anyways, let's look at some more of the new stuff. So that was it for mechanical things, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, steering hinge is what you would probably need now if you were going to use an unpowered wheel to steer, so that you can turn it left and right like that. But before, this didn't work out so well because you were dragging a flat plate. Now you're only dragging just a tiny part of a circle, but now you can also put a steering hinge on each side. Whoa! So if I add 2 steering hinges at the, well, I'll call that the back actually this time, and put motor wheels on the front, so those are turning again clockwise, so they'll bring us forward. So now if I put an unpowered wheel, it's going to turn much better. So this is the simplest machine you can get, obviously, but the steering is going to work so much better now. I've got it backwards, and my wheels are turning the wrong direction. Let me flip those around. That's turning clockwise, that's turning clockwise. Ah, yes, that needs to be flipped around, as does one of these. There we go, that should work. Now, yeah, we can go forward. I can steer with this. So now we have much greater steering abilities. Now, obviously, there's much better solutions than this, but it just shows. Whoops, and I'm on fire. I forgot about the oil. It just goes to show how much better these new wheels roll. I'm in absolute love with them, just for the simple fact that I thought and said that my number one issue with the earlier versions was that making a good steering system really took a lot of effort and time. But now that we have these wheels that roll a lot more freely, it's much easier. Anyways, let's look at a few of the other new ones. Nothing too major, obviously, but what do we have here? We had a boulder. So now for your trebuchets and your catapults and such, you can put a boulder instead of just the flaming ball. So that's kind of cool. In addition, of course, you can push it with a piston towards people, and it'll run people over. I think that was it for new weaponry. Yep. Which is really, I'm quite happy with the weaponry they have right now. I want more and more mechanical things. I want to be able to build really complex machines. Flight's got nothing new, however, of course, that's a very hard to code in Unity. I know from experience, and well, I've seen some absolutely amazing flying machines. It's one of the harder things to do. So yeah, it'll be good if they focus on the land-based vehicles more before the flying, for sure. The armor is still the same. So that is the new parts. That is the major updates that you'll see in the latest version. We still have the same 15 levels as before, so nothing major's changed there as far as I know. And so yeah, that is really it for now. We still have Sandbox, sorry, we still have Ypsilon. It's 15 levels. We have the new the new mechanical parts, and that's really about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully now you know some of the new things in version 0.03, and hopefully that gives you some ideas for some new machines to build. I'm gonna create a new video where I go through all the levels one by one. Well, not one by one, but maybe like 10-minute videos, and get through as many levels as I can, building different contraptions each time. So anyways, thanks again for watching from the team here at Gotta Play It All, division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoyed this video and learned something about Besiege version 0.03 alpha, consider liking and consider subscribing for regular updates. We will soon be on Twitter and Facebook. If you dislike this video for any reason, instead of leaving with a thumbs down, instead please leave a comment or email info@BlenderTech.com as to what we can improve on, so that we can continually improve our videos based on your community input. Remember, play your way.